Hey guys, welcome back to Ender Trips. It's me, Mickey Joe, but different. This time, I have borderline. I don't know if you can see me, it's really dark. I'm sitting in the car because I figured it's a nice private place to record. Because this is such a weird video. I already did a recording yesterday. I've already fully accepted that it's not going to be a perfect video. Because like I was gonna have like sketches or like think of like a big thing for like this video because it's a pretty big deal, right? But I've already let that go. But then still, just recording it, just turning on the camera and then opening your mind like a valve, just letting it pour out, sort of thing. Just especially about the topic like borderline, it's just really strange. And I don't know, like it was weird. I've thrown away recordings about this topic already, and now this is the take that I'm trying. Instead of in my room where I have my lights on me, I'm gonna try it in the car. Maybe it's a different environment, maybe it'll hit different, maybe it'll be different, maybe it'll be chiller and more logical, because I was just honestly kind of spiraling, because the topic of borderline is also super heavy. It's super weird, right? It's one of the things that I'm already running into is like telling people that I have borderline. It kind of freaks them out a little bit, like they kind of have a kind of like that reaction, because everyone has heard the horror stories about borderliners. I don't know. Does anyone do that? Like a coming out video? I have borderline. Anyways, that's this video. I don't know. I've only been recently diagnosed, confirmed the DSM-5, right? And before that, I was told my entire life that I have autism, which is much more romantic to tell people. Like that's so accepted. That's like quirky almost, right? That's like so romanticized, autism, right? Telling people you have autism, no problem. Still not good for me. Like I had to learn to not walk into a room and be like, hey, my name is Mickey Joe, I have autism, because then I would just manifest autism for myself big time, right? Just like, that was not good for me. But to a certain extent, knowing that I was autistic and that meant that I had trouble, dealing with stimulant, meaning like from the world, like sounds or lights or whatever, like eye contact, social interaction, whatever, that kind of could piece some stuff together. And now borderline is another one of those for me. Like right before I had the diagnosis, I was like suspicious of borderline. I already felt like that made sense for me. But now to have it, I don't know, I kind of have to readjust my entire mental model a little bit, right? Because you just kind of look at the world through a certain lens, adjusting it as you learn stuff about yourself. And now I've learned a new thing, and that is that I have borderline, which matches me entirely. Like I have nothing like like I said, I already had suspicions of it, but I'm not one to self-diagnose. But it's nice to have, and it's also funny because I did a general personality test, and borderline is just what came out of it. Like, oh, that's what I have. But then that test also tests you for narcissism, and I'm not a narcissist. So funny, because I've been called a narcissist for my confidence, right? By people throughout my life, by like exes or ex-friends or whatever. And it's a bit of a consolation to know that I don't have it. Like, what did that say about those people? And also pretty fucking wild to just say that about someone, like, oh, I'm gonna diagnose you with narcissism. But me, I almost believed it. If you call me narcissist, I'm just gonna say, like, if I can make valid observations about the world, like I can look at the world, oh, that's how systems work, that's how stuff is, that's how it all, fits together. Why couldn't someone else make an observation about me that's accurate, right? If like multiple people are calling me a narcissist, like, okay, sure, that must be true, right? So I had already fully been gaslit into believing that, like, I had, like, mentally almost like subconscious or like subconsciously, whatever, accepted it, like, okay, I'm just going to be the best narcissist. Turns out I'm not a narcissist, because, I care deeply what people think. If I do stupid shit, I regret it deeply. I can't walk past the mirror and look at myself. I think I'm a total fucking, borderline, it says on the wiki as well. Like, I'm learning about this, right? The people who diagnose me. I haven't talked to anyone. It's been like a month since they diagnosed me. And since then, I haven't talked to anyone to like explain it to me or like whatever, or like, I've only gotten by email a digital diagnosis paper, which had a bunch of, reasoning why they gave it to me. But still, I have a lot of questions, but at some point I also want to do a video. This is like on my fucking mind, and that's what my channel is supposed to be, just me talking, my life, right? It's not really that I suffer from borderline. It's not like I caught the borderline virus or whatever. It's more that I'm emotional enough to the point where they can say, okay, now you're borderline. So that's also why it sucks, right? Because by definition, it means that there is a pattern of systematically being unable to maintain friendships, relationships, whatever. And that, that's me. And I've always known that. I've always been honest. I bet a lot of people watching me for my Minecraft videos don't know that, if you don't watch my older podcast. But I've always, been open about my issues. But also, you don't want to be a depressed guy who just makes a depressed video after depressed video, right? Like, that's not sustainable. But I've always talked about my issues, or like, about my struggles, but maybe you don't know. Maybe, obviously, when you see me on camera is my best moment. Like I said, like this is the recording that I keep. The other, maybe, we're only 7 minutes in, we'll see how it goes. But the other recording I scrapped. And it's because I like, because, I don't know. I'm like, when you see me on camera, that's my best moment. That's when I decide I'm going to be on camera. That's when I'm ready to be on camera. But in my life, obviously it's messy, I guess, It's emotional by definition. That's what fucking Borderlands means. And that's just something that I am. Emotional, right? And I have an inability to regulate my emotions normally. I get crazy about abandonment. That's like a big trigger for me because obviously my dad killed himself, right? It's like a classic fucking MJ story, little story dot. So yeah, that like probably planted the seed for Borderline a little bit too. But I'm also learning that there's a huge like genetic disposition to it. So like my family could have had it. My grandpa was apparently like hugely aggressive and never treated for anything. So I mean, if you go and treat it, like I don't know, like, it's good that they caught it. I mean, I guess I'm pretty late. I don't know, dude. I'm like putting a target on my head for all the stalky, creepy people who are trying to target weak people that they can fuck with. But just a PSA to anyone who thinks that this is like an admission of me being weak or whatever. It's not. Like I said already, my dad killed himself. So unfortunately, I know what it's like if somebody does that. So that's never an option for me. That's actually one of the reasons why I've self-harmed. Like not being. Even if I wanted to kill myself, it's just like such a weird fucking conversation topic. You see why I can't do these videos? Because it's such a weird fucking topic. How is it not triggering for me in the moment, right? This is like such a like crazy fucking shit to talk about. I'm glad I can't see my face as well. That helps at least. But anyways, yeah. So imagine wanting to do it, but you can't relate probably. But whatever, okay. And then you can't because you know how much damage it does. So that's why I have cut in the past, anyways. But yeah, so. Don't really worry about it. I'm gonna be fine in any case, even if I'm depressed, which I'm not right now. I just have borderline. It just means that everyday life is kind of like shitty. But I knew that ever since I was a kid. So I also am like really wondering when did I get borderline? And I've talked to some people online who have it because there's resources like there's subreddits and whatever. And those people say that you shouldn't worry about it too much because that's not really the problem. I mean, it's nice to know, but if you have a wound, then you just have to heal the wound. It's not really, it's like bonus if you figure out what caused it. But like the most important part is healing the wound, and I agree with that. It doesn't really matter when I got borderline, but I don't know. It's interesting to me because obviously I had autism my entire life, and that also the part of my YouTube dream was also, hey, can I try to conquer autism, and then can I be an example for people who have it, or people who might have lost their dad who have it, like I'm alive, right? That's the point. I'm like trying my best here, trying to fulfill my dreams regardless of any fucking struggle that I face, which is apparently a lot, and also apparently enough to give me a personality disorder. So funny how that goes. But yeah, I always thought I was going to be an example for autistic people. Now maybe I can be an example for borderline people. Probably not. I don't know. Borderline seems really fucking super wide. The amount of people the type, like you can almost make a stereotypical autist, right? You can make a stereotypical, like the little round glasses and the long hair, right? And like like a thin guy playing D&D or whatever, right? But borderliners are just all the fuck, like just anyone could have it, just any fucking person, and each one of those has apparently a past, at least a recognizable pattern of fucked up shit in their past, and that's why it's so fucking weird to talk about it. Like I feel like again painting a target on my head, saying that I have borderline, but my truth, and I don't know, it's super scary, so it's my way of being brave a little bit, but also hoping to gain some empathy from people because I've spent my entire life, not being defended for anything because I'm not a minority, but I've been bullied my entire life for being autistic, I guess, not for being borderline. Like, I mean, maybe at some point when it developed, but I never knew it. I got a diagnosis recently at 27. But like, I've been bullied my entire life, and I never understood what's the difference between being bullied for your gender or being bullied for your race, right? It's just bullying. Bullying is bullying, right? So I get bullied. I get bullied my entire life. I get outcast my entire life. I don't fit in anywhere, not even with the autist, because it turns out I have borderline, so that's why I'm not like the stereotypical autist. So also, can I even be an example for autistic people? I don't even know. Because what's my advice at that point to them? Just get borderline? No, that's not good. So yeah. What the fuck was I saying? Some edgy shit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I kind of feel weird about that. Like, why did no one stand up for me whenever fucking people are saying shit about me, like in certain communities that I've been in? Like anytime I've been like harassed or talked about or just like dismissed as one such or the other, you know, like people calling me transphobic or racist or whatever the fuck type of labels people have thrown around, baseless shit people have thrown around, or like when people call me a narcissist, or like whenever when I've been dismissed or whatever, why was there no one standing up for me, right? Because you can't see it in me that I have all this, that I also have this fucked up, you know, resistance I constantly fucking face, you know, and then, you know, the argument I bet is that the resistance I face is of my own making. I bet that's the argument against it, because the borderline's like self-inflicted almost, right? Not always, but I mean, I'm like extremely sensitive, basically, like attachment issues, scared to attach to people, and then when I attach, like, I want to disattach sometimes for my own safety, right? I don't know. It's like super complicated. And also, I don't have everything that's on the wiki. I haven't even read the entire Wikipedia page of borderline. I don't even know if Wikipedia is a good source for fucking learning about borderline. I've learned a lot about splitting just from my fellow borderliners. I used to have a therapist, and she explained to me that I would have a fusion. Like when I would get emotional, and like I would have just triggered or whatever the fuck happens to me occasionally, I guess, you know, what's part of my fucking system, I guess, well, my little kink that I have, like kink in the machine or whatever, that I would have a fusion between my rational mind and my emotional mind, or whatever, my emotional system and my rational system. So I would be making decisions feeling fully as if they're rational, but the basis of the rationality is purely emotion. Which is a state that I get stuck in. So that's what she always said about me. And then recently I learned about splitting, which is what borderline people do, apparently, which sounds very much like what I do when I get so emotional, right? When I get so fucking, like, when I get triggered or whatever. And then I asked my therapist, hey, so I've recently gotten this diagnosis, because I don't talk to her anymore. And I asked her, it was the fusion thing, is that anything like splitting? And then she said, oh, you're so smart, you're already figuring it out. And I was like, wait, you knew that then? So, but therapists aren't allowed to diagnose, right? So maybe that's why she wasn't allowed to say that word. But anyways, yeah, I split. So free fireworks for everyone, all right? I'm a great YouTuber to follow. I'll probably freak out, or no, this is not, that's not what's going on. That's not what we're manifesting, that's not what's going on. But no, yeah, for real, I do have borderline, so I don't know, yeah. I don't know either, dude. Maybe we can do a little Q&A. Ask me questions, okay? And then if we get some questions, I can answer them, and then that might like trigger something in me to like fucking talk about, because it's also like, I don't know what the fuck. I don't even know. I've just been given this label, like, okay, like I've always known that I've had trouble fitting in and all that shit, and like making friends and all that, like, you know, being just a menace almost, right? But I never fucking had a label, right? And that's cool, because it also means borderline used to be a death sentence, right? You got the label, and then because borderline by definition means an inability to control your emotions, that also meant you're unfixable. You're just gonna have a rough time. Good luck. So I don't know why they even distributed the label, but they've changed it now, and now there's actually very specific therapies you can follow and very specific directions you can take and handles you can get, right? So that's awesome. So I'm very grateful to have the label. I feel like that's given me a lot of peace. I also have, on the other side, I have like millions of questions now. I have like I say, like, this is a weird video to make. What am I gonna say? Just explain that borderliners have a pattern of destructive behavior. Hey, I'm MJ, your new favorite YouTuber. I'm a cunt, basically. I've been a cunt, and I'm gonna try to be less of a cunt now, okay? That's basically what the fuck. I don't know, I guess, you know what I mean? So weird to fucking make a video, fucking, yeah, no, I have borderline. But that's also one of the stigmas that I don't really want to appropriate, that all people with borderline are cunts, you know? I mean, I feel like everyone has done shitty things in their life, and with borderline are also very sensitive. They react to it very emotionally, and that's not because they don't care. That is specifically because they care. I care so much, and I'm like, you know, when people say, when people have called me a narcissist, right, or whatever stuff people have said about me, that's just completely wrong. That, I don't know, I feel like that is just very disheartening, but you know, it's nice nice to know that I'm not all that, and it's nice to know that I have borderline, and that's almost like proof of also proof of my fucking humanity, right? My fucking emotionability. Not saying that that's like rational, but it means that I'm not a fucking sociopath or like a fucking manipulative asshole. Also, apparently, there's a lot of men not being diagnosed with borderline because men are scared to, or like men are unwilling to accept labels. Men are unwilling to seek out help. In general, there's a lot of stigma around it. So if you feel like what I'm telling, what I'm telling is, if you feel like what I'm saying is like, maybe, I don't know, I'm not trying to say get checked out, but I don't know, that's like a statistic on it. And also the stats about men and suicide about with borderline are devastating, right? So I don't know what to do about that. I'm a YouTuber, so that should be part of my journey. Probably that's also why I'm coming out as borderline. I'm trying to be honest. I want to be real. I want to have the full story, and because how else am I gonna fucking help or be good or like whatever, or like explain myself even, right? I hope this gives me some empathy. Maybe not, right? But I'm not an asshole because I'm an asshole. If I get angry or if I ever act emotionally, if some like to abandonment or whatever situation, or about situations regarding my image, right? My myself, right? Just my identity. That it's actually because I've been bullied and I faced adversity and I've been traumatized so much to the point where it gave me a personality disorder, which sounds super self-pitying to put on camera. And again, I want to toss this recording. I hate everything I've said, but this has been this episode of Emmy Trips. Little Q&A, let's do it, okay? Write some questions, okay? Because I need some fuel to go off to lead me on to the next fucking train of thought on this fucking path, because I'm also figuring this out. Would be nice to have some experts on, maybe some borderliners. If you're watching and you have borderline yourself and you feel like you're up to the task of coming on my show, we can do it. You don't have to use your the video, of course, but could be cool to talk about some experiences. Maybe you can teach me something, because I'm kind of in the dark, literally, and also metaphorically. But also metaphorically in the light, which is pretty cool. Okay, thanks for watching, and subscribe if this is your first video. It would be wild. I guess it could happen. Why not? Yeah, sure. I do a lot of sort of content. I'm very passionate about Minecraft, but I do a lot of content. So check me out. Check out my other videos. I have playlists. I have cooking videos. I have songs. Okay, I'm outie. Peace.